Your inner child is destroying everything that you're building. And what happens is we build so much momentum in life. And at that point where we start to peak, that version of ourselves that no longer exists comes forth and just destroys everything that we've worked towards. Now, why does this happen? We haven't integrated the lessons that life taught us once upon a time. When we get to that point where we're about to peak, we just sabotage ourselves. And this is because we have memory. And not only do we have memory from thought, we also have memory from emotion. So all of the things that we've embodied from our past, our trauma, our pain, even good experiences, it still lives within us. It becomes the embodiment of the character of who you are. When we want to achieve something, we become afraid of ourselves and we start to sabotage ourselves. And this can be due to a lack of self-worth, or it can simply be these programs. Usually the root cause is childhood trauma. It's not integrating them parts of ourselves in order to grow as an individual. Let's use Heartbreak as an example. You loved that person with all your heart, and somewhere along the line it didn't work out and you had to go separate ways. You embodied that pain because you allowed it to hurt you. But as well as you allowing it to hurt you, maybe you needed that pain in order to start loving yourself. But the issue with the majority of us is we'll stimulate ourselves and we'll go elsewhere and not actually resolve the issue. So instead of becoming the embodiment of the lesson, we become the embodiment of the experience, and we don't actually integrate it properly, meaning that if we're in pain, it's an opportunity to sit with ourselves and to understand what reality was displaying at that point in time. For example, if you're going through a heartbreak, then maybe the lesson, and you may not understand it straight away, is actually self-worth. How to love thyself from the pain that was projected from an individual that you loved. Because if you truly understand love, love comes from within. You are the only person you need to love. Everything you find is within inside of you, and all you do in a relationship is you share the love that you have. So we have superficial love. I love you, therefore I want you to make me happy. And we have genuine love. I love you, therefore I want you to be happy. You see the difference? When we are going somewhere in order to extract something to feel whole within ourselves, it actually creates a disconnect between us and the external world. When we must show up already fulfilled to share the love with our partner together. Two people must already be fulfilled in order to create union together. But when we look outside of ourselves for validation, for love, for anything to make us feel whole, which is actually just perceived as lack, we create a disconnect within ourselves. So how do we go about this? Well, integration is tricky because it requires you to face what fucked you up in the first place. And a heartbreak is simply just an opportunity to understand that that person is there as a reflection of you. They broke you so you could become better. But in order to become better, you have to pay attention to the lessons. Now, like I said, you don't always understand the lesson straight away. It could be a year down the line before you actually understand it. But your healing starts the moment you decide. It doesn't start when you've finally moved over the person or you've pushed them away enough in your heart and your mind because of the resentment or the hatred you had for them because they hurt you. It's about you. They don't fucking matter. They're gone. All right? You can't try to make amends with them, with the person that you allowed to make you sick. It's like healing in an environment that fucking poisoned you in the first place. Let me go back to the pain. The pain isn't about going back. It's about sitting and embracing the lesson. Now, at the start, I said we become the embodiment of our experience, not the lesson. Now, the lesson could be here is to witness, to understand the triggers that your inner child, because it was neglected from your parents or a partner, what happens is when you start to heal and something similar that comes along triggers you because you have an embodied response in your emotional state. So what happens is you see something that relates you to a past experience, maybe neglect as a child, maybe heartbreak as an individual. You meet another woman or you meet another man and they show one subtle display which triggers that internal child. That child that needed the love, that needed the direction, that partner who didn't love you, that's the issue. We start running from stuff. And I've had this as well. Like when I broke up with a girl because things is just going shit crazy, she'll fuck off somewhere else. It's like this, we have this tendency to like, okay, he's hurt me. He's not fulfilling me anymore. When it takes two to tango, don't forget. I'm not perfect. I'm a trier. But instead of just sitting with it, we go drinking. We smoke cigarettes. We find any form of way, and here's the worst one, we'll go find another person to try to fulfill what that person broke inside of us, when that person was simply there as a reflection, displaying something a lot more valuable than you being hurt and fucking off somewhere else. You only do yourself more damage by not sitting with the pain and learning to embody, to feel, to embrace. But instead we'll just go to another person, or we'll just go numb it with alcohol. It doesn't resolve the issue. And this is why our inner child continuously sabotages us, because what it's perceiving is lack, when it actually just needs to integrate. Life is not about being good or bad. Let me get that straight. It's about the maturity of your soul. You can be a bad person, but you can be so mature and you can integrate your lessons. You can be an animal. You can be aggressive. You can be egoic. You can be mature. It's not about being good or bad. Good people get good things. Good people get bad things. Bad people get good things. Bad people get bad things. All right? It's your integration that matters. How you embody that state. Are you going to run from it? Or are you going to face it? And this is perfect for me to explain the method. The method is simply follow through. Why do I say follow through? Because in life, we don't want to fall back. Falling back is like, I'm going to go find another partner to fulfill what that person couldn't. When maybe you're not fulfilling something within yourself. And that's why you attracted that person in the first place. So instead of going elsewhere, sit with yourself, follow through with yourself. What's the point in going elsewhere when you're just going to repeat the same lesson? In order to be an integrated man, or in order to be an integrated woman, you must learn from your experience every day. It's simply presenting two paths, new opportunities. Our old self, all right? And our new self. Our new self is simply the embodiment in this moment. How we talk to ourselves, how we present ourselves on a daily basis. And the present self can still be the past self. It just depends if you want to bring forth that embodiment or that pain if you haven't sat with it. And in order to release trauma, as well as following through, you must sit with the pain. You must fucking own it. Because what happens is we have emotion in the body and we have thought in the mind. Now what happens is when we get attached to someone and we're in love with someone, thoughts and emotions get combined. Alchemy. If we're combining thought and emotion together and we don't integrate it properly, it will destroy your life. And that's exactly why I've made a mini mindset mastery course. Because I realized that when you just start following through and you actually start healing yourself and you start focusing fully on yourself with no distraction, it's okay to have people around, but you is only who matters. And in order to get to that state without getting distracted or getting stuck with your inner child sabotaging your present reality, I built a course. It's free. All you got to do is join. It's like taking a leap of faith in yourself to watch a few videos and be like, all right, I want to follow through. But you know what? The majority of people will get to the end of the video and they'll just swipe it off. It's like, good video, not interested in healing. This is not about me. This is about you, right? So why wouldn't you take that leap of faith in yourself? Drop the link in the description. I'll see you inside.